Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I'm back to post a quick video here. This is going to be a thread response to Brian over at Embryonic Robot, a cool thread that he just put up. I actually saw Chris Profe did a response to it, and I followed it back to Brian's channel and wanted to kind of jump on board. So if you want to jump on board as well, links right down below. Go check it out. But basically, this is called the Thread of Threads, and it's just basically show stuff that you like and don't like, album covers that have has something to do with threads, like clothes, dress, outfits, all that kind of stuff. So thread of threads. And so yeah, I just kind of just really quick went through my collection and pulled out stuff that I kind of already had in mind, and I'll just kind of go through it pretty quick, maybe spend a little more time on some than the others, but let's just kind of run through it here really quick. First one here is Motorhead Ace of Spades. I mean, you got them there looking like a biker gang that you do not want to mess with. And I always loved Lemmy's white boots on there. I just thought that was just such a cool touch with that album cover. So that's one that I would choose. The Ronettes. Always love this one as well. I should say the one thing I always think about with them is like Class. Like when Class was still a big part of kind of pop music. And of course, I think like the dresses and stuff and the way that they're styled up here just really kind of manifests that even more. So that's always one of my favorite covers when it comes to the clothes that they're wearing there. This is one of the very first ones that came to mind. Pure Hell, Noise Addiction. This is from 1978, I think. Yeah, 1978. I bought this album without even knowing what it was because I saw that album cover and saw that leather and those chucks, and I was like, something good has to be on here. And it is a great album. It's kind of like I said, 1978, just a great punk album. Definitely check them out if you're not familiar with them, but that cover kind of tells you all. It's really, really cool. Next one here is Lenny. And again, this is one that I thought about because I always remember when I first got this album, seeing those boots on the back and just thinking only someone as cool as Lenny could pull that off. But just about anything he wears is kind of cool, but I love those red boots on him. That's just so awesome. Just a cool dude, to say the least. We're talking about threads. I mean, come on, he's the Red Rocker for a reason. And of course, when this album came out, that outfit right there was just kind of synonymous with Sammy Hagar. So you got to have that one. And a bunch of them you can choose from Lita. She has a number of album covers. I decided to go with Out for Blood. This was the band cover with kind of the whole butcher cover kind of thing going on there. But yeah, Lita doing her leather, her kind of, I'm a badass kind of thing. So that's definitely one where the dress sticks out. As well as this one from 1983, which is Leather Angel. We Came to Kill. And just kind of, the ladies here representing just kind of the hardcore metal glam thing right there with the leather and the spikes and all of that. Really, really cool cover. Or outfits, I should say. Have to show this one too because this was actually the first kind of glam slash it's not metal, but the whole glam hair, all the metal stuff. This was the first album that I ever fell in love with out of that genre. So every time I think about those early years of getting into that, like this outfit is definitely one that just is seared in my mind with the purple and the blue eyeliner and everything else. That's just being with Twisted Sister. And a conversation about album covers with threads. I mean, you got to throw the New York Dolls in this. I mean, what they were doing back in the early 70s with the whole glam thing and everything else. I mean, that they were definitely, kind of groundbreaking in that regard. So talking about threads, you have to include them in this conversation. The Bobby Teens. Be curious how many of you are very familiar with this group. But another cool one here too, Not So Sweet. And on this one here, I'm kind of going with her outfit there. And I've actually always loved this outfit, or her on this particular shot, because it kind of does the combination between, those kind of what are those cork bottom type of shoes or whatever. I've always thought that those are very cute shoes for ladies to wear. To me, they can be very sexy with also not being too overboard. You can pretty much wear them anywhere, you know, be very casual with them, being very sexy with them, whatever the case may be. I think they're really cool shoes. And so that, and coupled with between the skirt and the jacket, like this is kind of a Pink Ladies, like a Grease 2 kind of thing, which of course I'm all about, like Grease 2. So it kind of has that whole 50s, 60s kind of, you know, soda shop flavor to it. And then facial wise and hair and everything, she's kind of doing almost like an alternative, you know, it's not dark enough to be goth or anything, but, you know, kind of doing more of kind of a rocky alternative type of thing. And I kind of always thought, like, that's just such a great mixture of all those different times, if you will. And so I think that's a cool outfit, a cool thread on the album cover. I'll show these two together. Over here you have Miss Hines and Miss Jet, you know, with the red jacket, and of course the purple one over here. And I'm showing these together because, you know, not only are those cool threads and, you know, kind of legendary shots, but I remember a few years ago when Herb Ritts passed away. He's the guy that did that. He's done the photos for so many album covers that, like, it literally blows your mind when you've realized, like, all this Tina Turner stuff, Madonna, you know, Cyndi Lauper, Bruce Springsteen, like on and on, Prince. Like, he's Sinead O'Connor, Aretha Franklin. Like, he's the one that was doing a vast majority of all their album covers that we all know so well. So they did a little tribute to him, and they had some of the outfits from the actual album covers. And two of the outfits they had there that day was the red jacket and the black gloves off of this album cover. And then they also had the jacket, scarf, and shirt off of this album cover as well. And it's just something that's really cool when you're standing there looking at that stuff, and it just starts to draw you in and just makes you really, really connect with, like, that is the jacket off of, like, those are the pants off of, those are the shoes off of, and like you just kept going around the room just thinking and saying that the whole time. I think the one that blew my mind the most was they had the t-shirt, the jeans, the belt, and the hat off of Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA. I mean, it was just kind of like I said, like, that is the t-shirt and the jeans off of the freaking cover. It was awesome, but just thought I'd share that since we're talking about threads anyway. But let me kind of move on here. Black Ivory, Feel It. I mean, you have to feel it when you're wearing tuxes like that and you have a bow tie almost the size of your face. But that's one that I had to share. The Flirts, pretty much anything that's just, you know, bringing out the 80s, I'm gonna love. And I've always loved her outfit on this cover. You know, the short skirt, but then, like, you know, the big kind of jacket with the shoulder pads in it, you know, the V-neck and everything, and of course that hairstyle, it just screams 80s, and I love it. Absolutely love it. A little Bow Wow Wow, I Want Candy. You know, kind of a lack of threads there, but thought I would share that one really quick. And before the Blue Man Group really kind of did their thing, you know, Blind Date had already had this album cover out. And this was released in, 1979? So kind of the gold dress and the, you know, the whole kind of body paint thing there, which is kind of cool. Let's see here. Another one that immediately came to mind when I thought about this thread, Rock Your Baby by George McCrae. And I thought about this one because I've always just, I don't know, it's just something about seeing him in those cut-off blue jeans on the back just always cracks me up. It's like, we're not wasting any money on any stylist or anything like that. Just go cut up some old jeans, put on a matching jean jacket with no shirt underneath, and we're ready to release this album. But yeah, those cut-off jeans just kill me every time. But love this album, love the single Rock Your Baby, just one of my favorite songs to groove to. Love it, love it, love it. Melissa Etheridge, you know, kind of some more cool threads there, just having her cool cool fitted jeans with the boots on, you know, no shirt, just kind of doing her badass thing there with her guitar. So I think that's some awesome threads there. And then Elastica, always love this cover with the whole black and white and the, you know, the red with the Elastica. But I do love the way that they did kind of all wearing slacks like that and with the black. And I've just always felt like, you know, Justine, for some reason, like with this shirt, with that V and her hairstyle and the slacks and everything, I just always thought that as simple as it is, that's one of the best shots I ever seen of her. That's just so cool. So definitely dig the threads on that one. Of course, the Supreme, so, you know, that cover kind of speaks for itself when it comes to threads. Let's see, we cannot talk about threads without talking about all the amazing stuff that Grace Jones has done. Just so creative and so artistic in so many ways. So she has to be in the mix there. Again, all things 80s are golden to me, and kind of on the 80s R&B side, you know, this is kind of what you had again with this kind of the colorfulness of those outfits. And of course, everybody had the little thin, fine mustaches that I guess thought made them look sexy or cool or whatever. But so I have to show that one. Eric B. and Rakim, when you're cool enough to have, you know, threads on where your name is just written huge on right on the middle of your back. This is Follow the Leader, which is just a fantastic old school hip hop album. My favorite gospel album of all time, Willie Nelson and the Gospel Keynotes, Rise Again. Fantastic album. But of course, you can see those tuxedos take you right back to a very clear time of understanding this was the early 80s. And then when you know you're putting out a funk album and you know you have a photo shoot the next day, you want to make sure you get the right threads, you're probably going to show up looking like that. So that's Cain and Abel. Again, another really good funk album from 72. And Betty Davis, another woman who really kind of knew her style and knew how to, you know, embrace the coolness of style. She's the one that kind of brought all of that to Miles Davis when he got into his whole Bitches Brew and, you know, that kind of cool stuff that Davis was doing. She was married to him. She was the one that really introduced him to all of that. And so, you know, that's just style that she always had. Diana Krall, and this is Glad Ragdoll. I mean, this is, you know, her and just some very, very sexy stuff there on the front cover, and then just kind of very, you know, black dress on the back cover there too. Just a really, really cool, you know, cool album cover. And really all of her covers are like that. There's something about her, like, I'm talking about even the covers where it's just simply face shots and she's just looking off in the distance or something like that. There's something just something inside of her, a presence that she gives off that just really brings back this mature kind of sexy element to jazz vocal. And she's an amazing artist, period. So it's just kind of a lot of really cool stuff by her. If you're not familiar with her, definitely make sure you check her out. Ohio Players, back. And of course, I mean, you have to talk about these threads when the outfit you're wearing is just some unwound tape all around you there. Bobby Brown, this was his release from 1986. I think this was his first solo album that he did. Had to pull this one out because everything about this cover as far as threads go just remind me of everything in high school. Like, that is what we looked like in high school. In junior high, so I had to share that one. And this one right here, my dad was first generation from Africa, and when he first came over here, especially when he was in college, he was getting his doctorate and all of that stuff, he used to have parties all the time, and of course always invite the other international students from Africa. And so that right there looks like any given party that my dad might have had on any given weekend. This is pretty much what the guys look like when they showed up. So that's a cover with some threads that definitely stand out to me. So funny. Tom Jones, you know, give him a few props in that because, you know, he could pull off stuff that a lot of us couldn't. And last but not least, little Kenny G and G-Force. You know, here he has the whole kind of Miami Vice meets Back to the Future kind of thing. But, you know, Kenny was the man, so had to show that as well. So there you go. Those are some threads for the thread. As always, guys, let me know what you think, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.